Well, welcome back to Find It in Fergus Falls. I'm joined today by Randy Fischer of Ringdahl EMS. Randy, glad to have you on the show.
Nice to be here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Well, you know, Mary and I were talking a little bit about Stuff the Bus and back to school, but it's more than just the schools and the colleges that start classes later on and throughout the summer and in the fall. You guys have some training too, so tell us about those great opportunities.
We have classes going on all the time. CPR, first aid, AED training. But right now in August we'll start a EMT class.
Okay.
And that starts in Fergus Falls. We're going to try and have one here in Fergus Falls.
Fantastic.
On August 19th. It'll be on Monday and Wednesday evening from 6 to 10 p.m. And 6 to 10 or 6:30 to 10:30, I don't know.
In the evening.
It's in the evening.
Right, so it doesn't interfere if you've got a day job or
Perfect.
daytime commitment.
Perfect for anybody that wants to just have some advanced training in first aid, CPR, use of an AED, some other medications. It goes into patient assessment, patient care, controlling bleeding, all of those kinds of things that somebody at every business should have. A first aid person on their staff that knows what to do in an emergency. And we're going to talk a little bit about AEDs. That's
right.
That's just one component of what you learn in an EMT class.
And with the EMT class, Randy, what are like the prerequisites? Like at what level? Like it's not a beginner course.
It's not a beginner course, but we start right from the beginning.
Okay.
So if you haven't had a CPR or a first aid class before or anything, you could
sign up
you
for
could take
it.
this
so
training.
It's truly for anyone.
Absolutely, and you'll receive national certification as an emergency medical technician, or EMT for short.
Sure.
And that's the minimum qualifications to work on an ambulance service. You can work on first responder teams, you can be a part of your safety team at your business
Sure.
or your place of work. So the EMT training, I think, is a doorway into a lot of healthcare fields, healthcare
Right.
careers. Interesting, I was just reading something about the healthcare industry and the 1.5 million shortage of talent in healthcare alone. Actually, that's just nursing across the United States. Another 100,000 physician shortage that we have. And that's not even including all the emergency services. Right now in the state of Minnesota, even in our area, I could hire 5 full-time paramedics and 3 full-time EMTs.
If
we
they're
have
available.
a shortage, and
Yeah.
they're not available. We need people that can work.
And a
it can
really
be
good
second
career
job.
too.
Second job, part-time work, might be contract work. Maybe you want to just help be available for us when we send out a deployment on a hurricane, a national
Right.
hurricane or a national disaster of some sort. And talking about hurricanes, we've got one brewing right now.
Right.
So we're in need of additional personnel with Ringdahl. But it's not just Ringdahl, it's across the states. We have services in North Dakota, we have services in Minneapolis, St. Paul that never in the past worried about finding people. They always had a long waiting list of people
Sure.
wanting to get on. Now they're taking them right out of school, and that makes it tough. We're all
Yeah.
short. So,
Right.
so take the EMT training. It'll be here in Fergus Falls starting on August 19th on Mondays and Wednesday evenings. It's for anybody, for everybody that would like to. The tuition is kind of expensive. It's $1,500 for tuition, books, testing fees for national certification, but it's a national credential that you have.
Well, and again, it's a bigger price tag for a course, but it is credentialing. And what a great way if folks are, I think of the kids who graduated just this past year from high school and they're thinking maybe healthcare, but they're not sure. What a great way to learn some skills and see if this is a fit.
Absolutely. We have a high school program in Barrett, West Central High School. There's a high school program that we run in Morris for the last 22 years. And it's introduced so many students to healthcare careers because
Right.
EMT, you learn about patient assessment, you learn about taking vital signs, you learn about patient care. And I have a lot of people that say, oh, I couldn't do that because I don't like the sight of blood. Well, you take this course and all of a sudden you find out that what to do and you don't panic and you know
Right.
what to do, and all of a sudden that fear of what you think it's all about it's not there anymore because
you've got
you know
the
what
knowledge.
to do.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think that's one of the great things that the classes that you offer provide is you give people the knowledge, the confidence, really the skills to take care of others, and what a great career and what a great profession for folks to get into too.
It is. It's a trying one. It's time consuming. It's on call. It takes you away from the dinner table. It's like any emergency service. It's 24 hours a day,
And when
365
you
days.
show up in that person's time of need,
It's amazing.
how important. I mean, just the powerful impact
It's
that the crew makes.
Yeah, it's an extreme privilege for us to work in emergency services because we get to help some people in their lowest, most stressful times.
Yep, challenging
situations.
times.
Absolutely.
Well, and one of those things, I mean, think about the lives that you've saved.
We think about that a lot, and that's what, when we start talking about AEDs too, the lives that are saved, that is the one single most important thing, is knowing where this is in your business.
Have you seen one of these?
A sign like this,
Yeah,
if you see that, you know that there's an AED somewhere in that building. And if somebody suddenly collapses in cardiac arrest, they're not breathing normally, they are unconscious and unresponsive, that's when you use one of these devices. It knows, it's smart enough to know that the person either has a heartbeat or it doesn't. And it also knows if it needs to be defibrillated or if you need to shock that heart so that it starts again.
Sure. And that's, I think, what's key is that this can save so many lives, and you don't need the EMT training to use it.
That's right, and it used to be that you had to be a doctor or a nurse to use a defibrillator on a patient, and now we train the public how to use them because they're so simple to use.
Right. They give you step-by-step directions.
Yeah. Would you like
Yeah,
to say?
let's that's part of why we have our show Find It in Fergus Falls, is that we want to bring knowledge to people and bring information so that if they're in a situation, they have a little more, oh yeah, I saw that, I've heard of that. And so when you're in a business, next time you're out and about, look for these.
Absolutely.
And if you have a business or if you work somewhere, work together with your neighbors or make sure that you have one in your business.
We were talking about fire extinguishers just a little bit ago,
Yeah.
you and I, I looked in here, and as I walked in, there's a fire extinguisher right outside the door. And we would think it would be terrible if a place didn't have a fire extinguisher.
Right.
Immediately accessible if that fire ever happens. Can you imagine having a fire and then saying, well, what business has one here? Where's the closest fire
Right.
extinguisher that I can use? That'd be absurd. Same thing with this. It's absurd that we don't have these available at businesses, at churches, at any
place
public
where
location.
people gather, right.
Absolutely, because the importance of them in that first critical 1 to 3 minutes saves lives, up to 60 to 80%
Wow.
improvement in survival of an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest.
And probably easier to use than a fire extinguisher.
Very easy to use.
Unless the fire extinguishers give you step-by-step directions.
Right. And fire extinguishers don't, but these give you
Right.
step-by-step directions. You see this sign, you know there's one in the business. And you see this case here, this is what holds the defibrillator. As soon as you open up this, an alarm would sound at a regular business that
Sure.
actually has this. I've disconnected the alarm. And then you pull out the defibrillator. This is the actual defibrillator, and this is the live unit, just in case we have the big one on your show today.
We
And it
never
could
know
happen.
when that's going to happen.
Absolutely, we never know. And I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek, but
We
I
don't.
don't know when it's going to happen. And I do a lot of training like this specifically so that people can survive that out-of-hospital cardiac arrest if somebody takes it out of the
Right.
case and uses it. So it's a very easy device. There's some gloves, there's a towel, there's a mask so that you can breathe for the person. But we don't even, we teach it, but we don't have to do that at the first when somebody has it. We
Sure.
do hands-only CPR we teach now, just chest compression alone. If you know how to do the ventilations, great. But as soon as the defibrillator gets there, then we want you to open it up. And it's as simple as just opening this and turning it on. And that's how simple it is. And this one is deactivated right now. So I'm going to go to a trainer. This is a
let's take a
trainer. Looks just like this device here. But as soon as you either push the on button or pull this open, it starts.
Begin by removing all clothing from the patient's chest. Cut clothing if needed.
It starts talking to you, and the reason we need to get to the bare chest is because these pads have to go right to the skin, right
Sure.
on the skin, in two
When
locations.
patient's chest
One up
is
here
bare,
and one here.
remove protective cover
Yeah, it gives you
and
the
take out
diagram.
white adhesive pads.
So we've got the patient's chest clear. Now we take out
Look
this
carefully
pad.
at the pictures on the white adhesive pads. Peel one pad from the yellow plastic liner.
So there's some pads here, and it has a pad and a little diagram where we will
Look
put that
carefully
pad.
at the pictures on the white adhesive pads. Peel one pad from the yellow plastic liner.
Now
Place
it's,
pad exactly as shown in the picture.
It
Press
knew-
firmly to patient's bare skin.
It knew
it
where you
knew
were
when
at.
it took this off because of the connection.
It's not going to get ahead of you, which
When
is
the
When
nice.
first
took this
pad
off,
is in
yeah.
place, look carefully at the picture on the second pad. Peel the second pad from the yellow plastic liner. Place pad exactly as shown in the picture. Press firmly to patient's bare skin.
So the second pad goes right down here, and you push them to the skin, the bare skin. So
Sure.
they won't work, and this won't go to the next step until it knows that
When
there's
the
a
first
connection.
pad is in place,
Okay.
look
So
carefully
the
at the
next
picture
step,
on the
as soon
second
as
pad.
you put them on the
Peel
bare
sec-
chest, is it
No
moves
one
to
should
that.
touch the
It moves
patient.
to that. So
Analyzing.
I've got the pads on the patient,
Sure.
and it's now analyzing. We wouldn't do CPR at this time.
No one should touch the patient.
It's
Shock
analyzing.
advised. Stay clear of patient. Press the flashing orange button now.
So, in the case of a real situation,
Deliver
it's saying
shock
deliver the
now.
shot.
Sure. And
Make
this
sure
is a
nobody's
trainer.
touching them,
Orange
right.
button now.
Make sure nobody's touching the patient.
Shock delivered. Be sure emergency medical services have been called. It
Which is
is
a nice
safe
reminder.
to touch the patient. Begin CPR. For help with CPR, press the flashing blue button.
So here it wants us to start hands-only chest compressions. The center of the chest, one hand on top of the other, and you go down at a rate of at least 100 a minute, okay? If you don't know how to do that, all you have to do is press this blue button.
Place the heel of one hand in the center of the chest between the nipples. Place your other hand on top of the first.
Put the
Push
hands
the
in.
chest down firmly 2
And
inches.
then we've quit stone.
Keep time with the beat.
And it tells you how fast to go. And now it's going to count 30 compressions and 2 ventilations. But if you don't want to do the ventilations, don't do them. Just keep
Yep.
doing chest compressions through. It's going to have you do 2 minutes of CPR, and then it's going to
Pinch
pause.
nose, tilt head, and give 2 full breaths.
It
Breathe.
tells you how fast to breathe.
Wow.
Breathe.
Very, and again, this is
Continue with
being a trainer model or trainer unit, so that, you know, people might say, well, how do I know if they're in cardiac arrest? How do I know if they didn't just pass out or fall
Right.
asleep? How do I know?
So there's 3 checks that we want you to do. Number 1, they're unconscious. Look like they're sleeping. They're unresponsive.
Hey, are you
Lisa,
okay?"
wake up, Lisa,
Yep.
wake up. And they're not breathing normally. It's not breathing, it's just not breathing normally. So we
Yeah.
breathe in and out once every 5 seconds so about 12 times a minute. Somebody is breathing something abnormal, like, and then stop, and maybe 3 breaths a minute.
Sure.
You know, that's not normal breathing. If they're not breathing normally, then we hook this up. If they're unconscious, unresponsive, not breathing normally, then we attach this and we
Right.
do CPR.
And what's ideal, or what I like about the AEDs is that once you've determined those things, if they're not in cardiac arrest, it's not going to.
It's going to know if you have a
It's
heart
gonna
rate.
know,
Yeah.
right.
Yep, that's right. That's exactly right.
So it's
no
not going to
diff-
hurt people.
No, it's going to tell you no shock advised.
Right.
Okay, so then you would check and see if they've got a pulse, see if they're breathing
Right.
normally now, see if they maybe woke up because they passed out or whatever they might, you know, what other medical emergency might
Sure.
be going on, low blood sugar, or maybe they're having a stroke, or
Right.
you know, there's all kinds of different reasons that they could be unconscious. But if they're unconscious, unresponsive, and not breathing normally, then we hook this up, because that's the signs that we need to do CPR and that we need to defibrillate their
Right.
heart. Okay. Even the person that goes into ventricular fibrillation, that's a specific fancy word for what the heart's doing. It's quivering. It's fibrillating. And what these devices do is they defibrillate. They stop it from fibrillating by sending a shock through that heart to stop the heart. And then we hope the heart's pacemaker kicks in and starts beating on its own.
Normally.
But even if it doesn't, we're doing chest compressions to help circulate blood
Sure.
on that patient. Very important stuff. Has to
Right.
be done right away in the first minute or two. And if it's a coworker, a bystander, or somebody that happens to just be walking by your business and you see somebody collapse outside, they can run into your business, grab the AED, tell you to call 911 and start CPR and use
Right.
the AED.
Save lives.
That's going to save lives.
You know, and of course, this has been a very condensed version of how to use the AED and all the different things. You offer these classes or workshops, so to speak, for groups, whether it's a church group, a youth group, you know, a women's ministry group, you name it, service club, a business.
Anybody that would like us to come and talk to them, we do a free half-hour talk to your safety committee, to your group. We'll tell you the importance of AEDs, how to use an AED, how to do hands-only CPR, and all you have to do is give us a call.
Ringdahl
Happy to do
Ambulance,
it.
Ringdahl
Ringdahl
EMS,
Ambulance.
yeah. And we are so fortunate to have Ringdahl in our community and the services that you provide, not just to Fergus Falls, Otter Tail County, but throughout the region and throughout the nation. So
Thank you.
thank you to you and your crew for the lives that you're saving on a daily basis.
Thank you. We
Truly
got some
appreciate
incredible EMTs and paramedics out there that are hard-working and getting overworked because we have a shortage of personnel.
Definitely.
We need more EMTs, and if you're interested in taking an EMT class, I would encourage you to give us a call at our office or consider signing up for the August 19th class. We have it on the chamber
On the chamber website, yeah.
Chamber
On our
website.
events calendar.
on the events calendar, or you can just contact our office, go to our website, call me, call
Fantastic.
Lisa.
We'll get you hooked up.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, Randy. Well, again, thank you to you and the crew for all that you do on day and night.
Thank you, Lisa.
You bet. We'll be back after a little break.